Marc Miller.
Hold on, I need to prune. I'm not used to this.
Yes, you are. You're a famous racing driver. That's what I heard. That's what they tell me.
I don't know who you're talking to.
Okay, well, somebody told me that.
Okay.
Somebody, I don't know. I may be mistaken. Tell us about your journey to becoming a professional racing driver, and when did you first discover your passion for racing?
That's a great question. It was an easy discovery because I was so bad at everything else. So when I'm from Michigan, but I grew up for a little bit in my childhood in Virginia. And there was this group of friends in my neighborhood, and we liked to play football, baseball, like all the sports, the normal things, like normal kid stuff. We skateboarded, got into relative mischief on a regular basis. But one of my friends, who I didn't know at that time because he didn't play the stick and ball sports, he wouldn't play football with us, he had a go-kart. And I was sitting on the front porch and I saw it go down a one-way street that dead ends. That's impossible. It was not a one-way street. It was a dead-end road and right down the road from me. So I was like, well, it's not gonna, the only way I can find this thing because it can't disappear. Mm-hmm. So I got on my bike because I was too lazy to walk, and I rode down the hill and found the go-kart trailer and introduced myself. I was like, hey, can I drive your go-kart?
Just like that.
Oh yeah. I was like, he said, well, it's not that type of go-kart, it's a racing cart. I was like, awesome. So, well, can I drive a go-kart? And he's like, maybe you should come to the racetrack and see what it's like because it's too low to be in the grass or anywhere else. So that's what we did. My dad and I went to the go-kart track, spent time with the Arrington family, my friends that got me into go-kart racing. And my dad rented one of their old karts. And when I say old, it was older than I was. And go-karts they have a shelf life just like people, but it's much shorter than the people. So it was pretty flexible.
What's the greatest challenge you faced in your racing career, and how did you overcome it? It's not meant to be funny. It's kind of serious.
It's seriously funny because it's always money.
Oh.
And I haven't overcome it.
Okay, that's an easy.
So sometimes I get the opportunity to go speak to classes in schools like universities about various things, whether it be like health or training, like what you have to do mentally, physically, team building, and entrepreneurship, which is one of my favorites. And the funny thing is, like, I didn't realize it at the time until I said it out loud, and then I was like, oh, this is really crappy that it's true. But for every professional athlete, and what we do, we are professional athletes. Motorsports is the only one that I know of that, as a pro, your job's for sale all the time. So literally, someone could walk up and say, good job in qualifying, but someone rented your seat and when they paid us enough and we can't turn it down. And that will not happen to Tiger Woods at the Masters. That will never happen really to any performance-related sport because money is what it takes to do this. I mean, it'll always be that way. So it's an expensive thing to do. So I just saying it out loud and being like, okay, and having it happen before, which is frustrating, puts that realization. So the challenge for me is, how could I be so invaluable that they turn that down? They turn money down to pay me because I do such a good job. And that's always my motivation. I'm going to be so good that you're going to turn that money away because you need me. And that's the mindset I think I have to perform at the highest level.
It's true, and for us, it's genuinely the case because unless we're able to perform well, we're not interested in showing up. So I guess you got a job.
Let's go. Get in there.
Okay, 2 fun questions, then rapid fire.
They've all been fun.
Well, we're going to get a little funny.
I got a little emotional about my wife.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Still fun.
I was emotional in Daytona. And you know why? I never thought in my entire life I would have earned the right to be in victory lane at Daytona.
Oh, that was awesome. That morning, I didn't think I was going to be racing at Daytona.
That's
so
true.
a lot of things happen fast. It's fast pace.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting weekend, that's for sure.
It was good.
What's the most outrageous, legal or otherwise, thing you've done to gain a competitive advantage?
Ooh. Well, I did in go-kart racing. I did take a transponder off the side pod on the last lap and chuck it across the finish line in front of the guy in front of me. So it was a really close battle, and I was thinking about it. The whole time, I'm like, I just need one of those transponder extenders that I just get, because I can always get like a run on them, but not by the start finish line. And I gave it a couple shots, and I realized I'm not going to get this guy in time without punting him, and I just don't do that. So I did one lap, and I undid the little clip, and it fell. So now I had it in my hand, and I just had it in my hand. I drove, and right there I got the same type of run. I just chucked it. And after the race, we get to the scales, and they announced me as the winner. And I was like, all right, good job. And he's like, wait, what? I was like, oh, you won. I threw him the transponder. And he's like, what? Yeah, I threw I told him, and he got upset. So he was bummed about it. It's like, you still won.
That was pretty clever.
But I don't remember. Oh, and this one, I have to tell this one because that one's for fun, and I wouldn't have accepted it. But the first go-kart race I ever won, and everyone knew, my dad, we had such the worst crap, and he built my engine for me. And I would give any advice to any young go-kart racer starting out is you want to do things and build a relationship with your family and your father and stuff like that. That's core. Don't let them build your go-kart engine because it will suck. My poor dad built this thing, and he worked so hard. He read every book, and he put it together. He was like, I built it exactly how they told me to build it. And I'm like, well, you think all these other people that are beating us are building that exactly like that book says? I don't think so. So he got sick of it, and in the last race of the year, we had the little restrictor plates, and he filed the restrictor plate out. He drilled it out. And I almost still couldn't beat him. That's how bad the engine was. And I knew it at the time, which didn't make me drive much harder. And he knew it to the point where when I was going too fast, he was trackside like this.
Right.
No, all those 20 people didn't see it.
Right.
So we got to the scale house, and it's just well, what happens when they want to see the plate, Dad? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? He's like, we'll just pull off to the side. It's we won't do it. I said, okay, everyone will know you're cheating. Mm-hmm. I'm like, newsflash, everyone already knows. But they were like, you're good. And that was the first trophy I got. It's the only one I haven't saved. Mm-hmm. It's it's down there somewhere, but it's I definitely will never display that trophy. But it's good to think about because it's it was my first lesson with my dad, It's you shouldn't cheat because everyone will know. and you may get away with it once, yes, but you'll be labeled a cheater. And it's so I've never, beyond that, I was always when I raced go-karts for years, I would have a signboard because people would ask me advice. It's like, what gear you have on? What's your pop-off set on your carburetor? Like what's all the settings that you've got? So I got tired of answering. So I just would like today's setup, and I would put it out in front of my tent. And the thing that I learned was, even when you're honest, only a small percent will believe you and be thankful. Others may believe you, try it, and if it didn't work for them, not believe you anymore, think you're lying.
Yes.
But most think you're full of it, and they don't even try it.
Yep. I've read a great book on that subject.
So
it's fundamental human nature.
I just put it out there because it's like, and then it didn't matter. Like, I want everyone to have the same thing as me because I want to beat you straight up. Like, here you go. This is everything I'm doing. Let's go to war. And that's the mentality I've always had. So I think that having the unfair advantage, like, I hate it when you get beat by someone that you know is cheating. It's like, I don't want to coin the term, like, but be a man. Like, come on. Or a woman. Whatever. Be straight up. Let's go. Let's race.
That's right. That's right. There's nothing noble about earning whatever it is in racing when you're cheating.
Yeah. Those trophies mean nothing. Prize money, I'll keep that.
All right. Nice to know where you stand.
We did talk about money. Money's
Right.
money.
Last kind of
Fun question?
Yeah, this is a fun question. And then we're on to
Okay.
rapid fire. Invent a new totally nonsensical racing penalty for drivers who commit the most embarrassing mistakes.
I have a really good friend, teammate. He and I come up with stupid stuff like this all the time. And one of them involved what you had to eat for a points penalty. So let's say for any two wheels off or over the curbs, like a track violation, you have to eat a hot dog. It can be plain, but a hot dog.
Okay.
For every time you do it. So you think about it, anything that you do, you add points up. So contact, wheel to wheel, it's 4 hot dogs.
Ooh.
You have to eat it right after the race.
Right.
Yeah. And that's it. We also did the same thing for qualifying order. It's you can, when you qualify, we all know what balance of performance is in motorsports, especially in IMSA and things. So we have that, but there's no BOP for the drivers.
Yes.
Right. So we figure, when you've got some of these drivers are 130 to 150 pounds, and they're up against 30, 40, 50 pound heavier drivers.
Yeah.
Ballast is, instead of the car, it should be in the driver. So therefore, you qualify on pole, and you're under 165 pounds, 20 hot dogs. However many cars are in your grid, you have to eat the number of hot dogs.
This is good.
So these are the penalty process that we have. So 20 hot dogs right before the race. So the guy who starts in the back is like, you know what? I think I'll just take it easy and have 1 hot dog. And then work my way to the front. Because someone's going to just die.
Oh, for sure.
20 hot dogs is a
Oh,
lot.
that's bad. That's
Yeah.
bad. But I think
But it serves you right for being 130 pounds.
we could implement this.
I think so.
I think we can. Okay, I like that.